happily. After Magistrate Li left happily, the attendant glanced at the portrait in the Jing and Marquis Shand. Although it was enta perfect likeness, the expression and facial features clearly showed it was the Marquis' precious son. Magistrate Li is quite amusing, complaining about the young Marquis to you. My lord, the young Marquis is truly growing up. He went out to cause trouble without mentioning the Jing and Marquis mansion. How reassuring. The Jinggan Marquis smiled. Indeed, he's maturing. By the way, isn't Magistrate Li's sister married into the Pingyang Earl's mansion? The attendant nodded. My lord, sister married. Regarding Magistrate Li's Earl's mansion, the Jinggan Marquis said Li's sister married. Regarding Magistrate Li's Earl's mansion, and Marquis Marquis said Li's sister married. Regarding Magistrate Li's Earl's mansion, stood and Jinggan Marquis said Li's sister married. Regarding Magistrate Li's Earl's mansion, stood Magistrate Marquis said Li's sister married. Regarding Magistrate Li's Earl's mansion, stood Magistrate Marquis said Li's sister married. I would imagine that our eyes all eyes Yes, Xiao Yuan. He slowed down and stopped his voice. Xiao Yuan Xiao Yuan. Lost Xiao Wan ran off the voice. As Zhang Xiyan knew, she said, Xiao Long Xiao Wan ran off. He paused slightly, building. Why Yuan? She said, you're here too. Who are waiting with pupils? Yuan, this was the Jordan Marquisa. As season closer, Xiao Yuan had told the Jordan Marquisa he was close to the young Marquisa. Xiao Yuan smiled gently. I come to pay. Every year to NCMI she forced a laugh. Right. She added to it. He said he died with the classic final song. How flowers she added. I come on. He said he died to a one. You don't find a how a witch's will. I expected to meet a princess and the Xiao sisters here. Now Miss Xiao was really for a friend. And with the young Marquis favor, it was short. Zhang Xiyan didn't care about it. Miss Duo, he just thought, who does she think Xiyan didn't accepting so casually? Yes, one Jia. The flowers are in Teddy Bear. I'll get them so casually in a few days. His voice laughed flowers are in Teddy Bear. Xiao Wan understood. Xiao Yuan. His head confident mind promised to go. Believing Zhang Xiyan had given her two and Laura give her some more. He didn't know Xiao Wan had given her two. The first thought, Xiao Wan smiled excited. Smiled before causing trouble. He bowed to me. Drama was coming. Xiao Yuan was the causing trouble. It's flower festival. You said the craftsman finishes on today every year. Is there a problem? You said you give them to me. Xiao Wan already worked on house flowers. You said you remaining four to any one already worked on house flowers. Young was given for the finished four to any not Xiao Wan. No Richard was given for the finished. Maybe that craftsman wants to perfect the final work. These ones, maybe that. Why don't we go enjoy the flowers for? Seeing Zhang Xiyan debate the blow. Xiao Yuan go enjoy the flowers for. He didn't. Give all the flowers to Xiao Wan. Ridiculous, impossible they lay any. He promised me. He tried to calm down. It's impossible. Pressing further would only humiliate. He tried to calm down. Let's go enjoy the scenery. Pressing further. How have you been with me? He sighed and laughed. Let's go. But Xiao Wan spoke up. Oh, why aren't they ready? The craftsman finished the morning. This morning, I'm wearing white. Zhang Xiyan glared at her, silently begging her to shut up. Twice for the past. She smiled at her, silently begging out you shut up. The craftsman moved. He said, Zhang Xiyan gave me one second. The other night, you'll be unfinished. You should make seven. Xiao Yuan smiled also. You'll be Richard said, I should make Xiao Yuan smiled only 6 flowers I said. It's damaging to me too. Just this year, she was angry with Zhang Xiyan. Had broken his promise to Xiao Yuan and given flowers to Xiao Wan and invaded. My kinswoman favored commoner daughter. Xiao Yuan faced still for smile with my Xiao Wan is her dog, and he shut up. Zhang Xiyan smiled. She petted her head. I am, and helping me why yell at I meant her. He rubbed his forehead. Why a duel to the sun why yell at young Marquis? I heard you were at the temple, but didn't touch them to the sun why yell at young Marquis. An elder like him with white hair, but didn't touch the bullet. Irritated. I touched and say goodbye. At the mansion please allow me to do so. He bowed his head. Are you the Countess of Please allow me to yes ma'am. Xiao Wan smiled. Are you here more flowers? Why retirement? The old man was confused. More. I made one said I like. The young Marquis took old man was here we this morning. I made one said they were for someone young Marquis took so it started working the dog. He looked at Xiao Wan. They were for him flowers. So the reason for me. These symbolize the eternal beauty. But your beauty outshines them. Young Marquis is eternal beauty. Everyone but how wrong person will win. Xiao Yuan held rocking stand. It was true. Zhang Xiyan had given her flowers to Xiao Wan. Old man, leave if you want. Stop blabbering. Zhang Qun smiled at Xiao Yuan. She cut him off. I feel alone and needs to rest. Xibaozhu burst into laughing off. Xiao Yuan left, realizing her slip and hurried away. Xiao Wan said, "You're just one to realizing her slip." The old man sensed his mistakes and fled. "I was just one to what this little devil party. My dear and fled." Zhang Yuan did a big little devil. Xiao Wan, you got the flowers like provoked. Zhang she didn't answer. Just looked at him with her cue. Alluring up. Zhang Yuan felt helpless. Just looked at him with her cue and said awkwardly, "I didn't mean that." Xiao Wan stepped towards and said, and Zhang Yuan instinctively took a step back to keep us off the distance. "What are you doing?" Xiao Wan a step back. "If you're so better, huh?" Zhang Yuan was going to laugh. By the time he did, his other unstuck on a fatal blow. His head attack. Their face turned nervous and instant. He covered his mouth with both hands, forcing himself not to cry out in embarrassment. He bowed to steps in a breath, forcing himself out like a little overlord in the crowd. The young Marquis startled and settled down, should be passed on to her. He guessed Juliet, but neither sight nor empathy figures him. They probably liked her, but it neither seemed to recognize her. At this age, a bold guy like the young Marquis can't be gentle with his friends. Instead, he picks fights and causes trouble to get attention. Just like 60 minus 70 of the male classmates. She knew in school, but young Marquis take note. This only gets me called. She knew idiots behind your back. Xiao Wan knows this only gets me called. Idiots behind your back. Well, this does end me to predict behind her. That's who does it to their faces. Your witching felt like she was opening her mouth. Again, she quickly followed. Xiao Wan like she bowed to. Miss, again, must have hurt your foot from kicking so hard. He bowed to raise an eyebrow. Not gonna lie, you clatter better than me. You are witching. I heard from the nursery that Sophie clatter better than no takes them fashion. Relieved to from the nurse if you gone female. Miss you compliant. Xiao Wan said flatly, if you gone relieved that she wasn't compliant. Dual witching left you smell so nice. Miss flashy and elegant like a bloom. Epicilla Luna. I do never smelled such an amazing scent saffron. Coming to Beijing. I do finally smell the world. An amazing Xibaozhu is my friend. Seeing Xiao. One is really pleased by the flattery. She suddenly felt satisfied. Xiao Yuan greeted his friend. Put up the back mouth. It was new. And then Xiao Yuan for the ice. She put up the back mouth her face toward the flower god. But slowly when she heard she put up the back moon gazed toward about the crown. I heard it straight from the gym. And Mark Moon then toward that way. The crown, I heard personal guard entered them. And Mark Mountain is gone. Yes, sure to get the Kishi Bible. He dares to compete with the crown prince. But does he get the talent Bible Kishi Bob? Why does he want it so bad? Who knows? Maybe it's suspicious the flower festival. Why does he want it? He might give it to some noble lady. I heard he likes Miss the flower festival. Elden might give it to some noble lady. Possible. Let's show her. The crown prince is on it. And they may hearing the flower god touch. Let's show her. As the voices faded, Xiao Yuan they made her subside. Flower god miss. The crown prince is so good. Xiao Yuan they made her subside. Busy to see you. But this Kishi Bai must be object. He is up for it. Xiao Yuan blushed. Don Kishi Bai top object. She lowered her head. Her expression relaxing involuntarily. But he just hear from me. If you would end easily, despise me. Seeing her calm down, Challenge felt relieved. Miss, let's check out the flower god coming down. They ray telling outsider. But you ray not an outsider who is friend. Challenge said what would be Xiao you ray not an outsider. So the young Marquis is closer to Xiao Wan. Miss still has the crown prince. She asked, witnesses how much he cared, even defying the MTS. He once changed his mind easily. The flower god temple was indeed here. When Xiao Yuan arrived, she was brought outside, showing announced their name, and the servant went to report to the Marquis, returning greetings, Miss Liao, and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, and His returning Highness the Jade Queen are worshipped. His Royal Highness the Crown Why must you enter His Crown Lady? Xiao Yuan, telling why must you enter My miss dropped her hand. Deep inside, if someone finds her, her virtue will be tested. The servant replied, don't worry. Miss the Jade and Marquis mansion once got the servant replied. When the Jade mansion saw the Jade above, Xiao Yuan searched. When you say responsibility if something goes wrong, rest assured. Miss the Jade and Marquis responsibility if a detail voice came from behind. Miss the Xiao Yuan vaguely recognizing the man but unable to turn. Xiao Yuan the Jade and Marquis recognizing the attendant, worshipping by the crown prince. Jing Wang is at their father. Please forgive me for stopping anyone who deserves it. Xiao Yuan failed to forgive. She wants for the crown. Prince and Jing Wang emerged from the temple from a distance. She wants for the crown. Prince didn't even know she was there. Showing frantically. Miss, His Highness will still give you the jade one day. Shall have another chance to see Miss. The Jing and Marquis attendant watched there. The Marquis had also said the crown and Marquis intended to give the Hishi Bai to Miss Liao. I'm surprised elder brother found time to give Flower God Temple amid his busy schedule. He merely said without warning, but his self-address made him arrogant to He seemed that calmly as crown prince. Praying for the country is my duty. He merely chuckled. I heard you sent someone to pray for the back mountain my duty. If you want the Hishi Bai, just ask I can give it to you. Why go to such trouble? You ignored the mock I can give it the Hishi Bai. I gained on flower festival. Carried a different meaning. Perfect or distant. Yamli fell silent. Looking at him. Gifted. Perfect or distant. Xiao Yuan in a remote meditation. Please shoot Chen to Beijing to recover the rag from his mouth. He struggled to his feet just as Majesty unable to find him elsewhere. Located his precious son at the back courtyard. A Chingwan asked, who beat you? Did that rat find you again? Don Tori's father saw the Jing and Marquis beat you, and he promised to find that rat and avenge Tori's father saw the Jing and Marquis' father's and he promised to find that rat alone. Father, Magistrate Li was heartbroken. Oh my son, don't cry. When the Jing and Marquis finds that rat, he'll punish him severely. Please Shanghai Marquis finds that father. Do you know who beat me at the temple gate? And who just beat me now? Magistrate Li asked me seriously. How keep it up, Li Chen said. The ones who just beat me were sent by the Jing and Marquis. They said I was the princess who just gone and an honored guest brought the Jing and Marquis and said my skin needed loosening. Magistrate Li frowned. Son, what are you talking about? Why would the Jing and Marquis send people to beat you? A thought struck him and his evil Jing and Marquis trembled. That rat would end evil. Li Shu Chen wanted to die from bad luck. He knew that he'd run into the Jing and Marquis. Son in a temple crowded with thousands. Talk about rotten luck. It shimmed the young Marquis of Jing and mansion. Magistrate Li staggered to the ground. His son was beaten by the Marquis' son. And he just asked the Marquis to arrest the guy for revenge. Was he crazy? The Marquis Marquis invited the guy for revenge. He beaten a clear act of protecting his son. He beat, hurt the Jing and Marquis. Spoiled his son not to his side. A change. We have to swallow this insult now that we've done. Offended the Jing and Marquis. Rest up, and later father will please you. Apologize to the young Marquis. Please you himself father. On the flower god temple, the young Marquis. He overlooked the distant mountain. On the flower god temple, a signal arrow rides from the back mountain, followed by a harsh song from the back. A someone had arrived the river. Jing Yuan galloped out of the back mountain. The fluttering ribbon declaring him a flower. Festival days champion. He Yuan from our pavilion. What is he doing in the background? It's Jing Yuan. Didn't bring your goat or nothing. He Baoju was eating a flower. It's Jing Yuan. Before she could see your goat, Dual Lichen smiled and said, it's a journey that before she could so Miss Young Dual Lichen the ribbon. She'll be happy to have joined again. He Baoju stopped too. Annoying Dual Lichen. The sense of crisis is rising. Dual Lichen added this to his Jing Yuan. The sense of no-ness is rising. Xiaowan said flatly, he's the crown prince's personal guard. Dual Lichen paused, said the crown prince, he's the crown personal guard is called Jing Yuan. He looked over, yes, do you think the crown prince can call Jing Yuan to get the show guard? Who does he want to give it to? Xiaowan gave her a look. How is that your business? Why so serious? He Baoju snorted inwardly. Serves you right. Dual Lichen smiled awkward. He lied but said nothing more. Just then, Li Yuchen showed up, looking for Zhang Qiyan but nothing to find her. He spotted the bratty woman who gagged for Zhang Qiyan after 3 beatings in one day. Spotted Li Yuchen was furious. He father, it's because this woman seduced me that I offended the young Marquis. Magistrate Li looked at woman the pavilion, not from danger. He didn't know these ladies. Background, they might be combination, but if they were noble, he could then suffered to offend. Then rashly, after warning his son, he led them toward the pavilion. Then rashly waited after warning his father. It's first, magistrate Li law reticent. Be respectful. How could he be so reckless? Without knowing the lady's family, he forced Abner. My son was foolish to offend. May I ask your family background? My son, we can apologize properly another day. May I ask your family background? My son, we can apologize properly another day. My father is the crown prince's grandchild. He just started his first engagement with me. It's the Dual Lichen late. Scared not to just started. She just didn't lie. After a bar, flattery scared not to just the lie would only work. Magistrate Li smiled in, and he stood the lie would Azek's rank official. Magistrate daughter dared to be so arrogant, and he stood Li Yuchen Azek's rank official. If this shameless woman had introduced me, I would then say to offend the young Marquis. If this Xiaowan raised an eyebrow, I wish you would say the young Marquis. I seduced Xiaowan. She burst into laughter, as if hearing the world's funniest joke, laughing until tears welled up. He Baoju was speechless. As expected, a confident man is mass-produced everywhere. Born with a skill to lie through his teeth. The world's Magistrate Li said laughing coldly, until tears welled up. Rank official's daughter is speechless. Shameless seducing young Marquis, now my son, seize her and bring her to. Apologize to the Magistrate Li said laughing until tears welled up. Rank official's daughter is speechless. Let me do it. Shameless suffered so much humiliation today because of her. They were NTV apologize to the Magistrate Li said kneel and beg. Azek's rank towards the pavilion to drag out the as arrogant bitch and teach her that. Rank to because of but after they were a heavy apologize to the Magistrate Li said kneel and beg. Azek's rank towards the pavilion to drag out the as arrogant bitch and teach her that. He hammered blood red down at him, but after what trash squares blossom to the Magistrate Li said kneel and beg. Azek's rank towards the pavilion to drag out saw that arrogant person in front of him red down the words that came what now were swallowed fast. Magistrate Li said kneel and beg. Azek's rank towards the pavilion to drag out the arrogant person in front of him and greet him. How could the words that not know this either though even though he felt Magistrate Li said kneel and beg. Azek's rank towards the pavilion to drag out the arrogant person in front of him and utterly light eyes he even looked at Magistrate Li and his gaze was Magistrate Li your soldier is saying but unable to say a word, colliding with its strength. He even climbed at her step. When Magistrate was Magistrate Li your soldier my life my son knows it mistake. Please spare my life. He should end phase come to. When Magistrate was Magistrate Li and he had just lost so many your soldier my life so many knows it mistake. A touch of amazement welled up into her. Lifting Tail, he introduced the magistrate. She had previously just crown force of her skin. She thought that the paintings were already beautiful, but she didn't know that seeing them in person was far more handsome than the just no crown force with a word of knowing this can solve the matter. Why do we need the government? But she didn't know. Magistrate Lee knew that the stranger was far more and designed justice with the crown force by with some elegant words. But he also knew that why do we need the government? He would only swallow his anger that the my son did not win and designed walk the gift sound, but because the daughter of the Lord what ran counsel to do my son and also to do. The young Marquis, I was about son did not win to apologize to the young Marquis, and yelled the daughter of the Lord covered with a layer of cold cloth. His gaze gradually moved away from him and fell on. I was about the familiar figure in the distance. The moment he saw him, his family grabbed his chest covered with after a while, he looked away and stopped looking at her. Who is the daughter of I was about to familiar figure in the distance. He listened, looked at him, his family grabbed his chest, wondering in her heart whether she was the daughter of the crown prince that is the daughter of the council of the North. He listened, didn't know whether to talk it, but someone had asked him, magistrate wondering immediately pointed to Xiaowan's daughter, and while being respectful, and also through dirty water, it's the woman dressed in fancy clothes. She seduced the young Marquis and son of the gate of the flower god temple, and then guided my son to the dirty water young. Marquis, if she really asked me parted ways, magistrate Lee said earnestly, the flower god temple is run by the then guided my son to the dirty water. How can we tolerate such a she is parted woman making trouble everywhere? Magistrate Lee said earnestly, he yammered, the flower god temple if you decided magistrate Lee smiled awkwardly. Your servant since back the day and parted trouble so hard working in holding the flower festival. He yammered, so he should end up as a woman if he decided. Marquis, I was going to speak with woman. He apologized to the young Marquis, but it didn't touch the hard working holding the flower festival. Pray you see, he yammered said lightly. John Marquis, if you just the angry son of the Marquis. Why would she seduce John so young? He even abandoned a prince like himself. So how could she take that fancy to John Q1? Magistrate Lee did not understand. Naturally, it was the kind of social life John is the daughter of Azek's great official like himself. Up with the gin and Marquis Granton. It's a good marriage. Magic to put it bluntly, it can be regarded as lying. It was the kind of social life of Venus. It's the daughter of Azek's great. The young Marquis is after all the only Marquis. Marquis is mansion. For that, the daughter of Azek's great official. He is a golden turtle Marquis husband. Magistrate Lee explained patiently. He suddenly laughed. Glanced at Xiaowan and thanked her for that. What he said is also reasonable. Why don't you go find John Q1? And this he also wants to know. How he handled such a matter. He raised his hand, and immediately, what he said is also he really sat in a cowboy stand, really intending to watch the sun. The prince and the young Marquis are naturally more honorable. How dare magistrate what he said? He repeated loudly and was going to find the sound. But who would have not that when he turned around, he saw the young Marquis at the gym, and Marquis Mansion coming who immediately stepped forward to greet him. But Zhang Qian didn't even look loudly and looked at Xiaowan angrily. Who was now like that when who has nothing to do? He saw got a problem with your eyes wide open. He handily lazy voice immediately stepped forward to greet him. Noticed that he was also didn't even look at the problem and looked at Xiaowan staring at him. He struck on his wife and called him an idiot. He saw that she didn't stare at him. smile at her and say hello. He gently raised his eyebrows and the corner of his mouth curled up a mocking smile. Zhang Qiyuan didn't hesitate to help her for the sake of being good brothers when he was a child. You apologize to me. Magistrate Li's mouth was about to raise his eyebrows when the corner of her mouth did the daughter curled up a profound smile. Zhang Qiyuan he stepped on the young Marquis's wife. Sake of being good brothers. Did she not want to apologize? Or did she have a grudge against her? He gently raised his eyebrows to her family. But this is a good opportunity. As long as all the faults are her. Picnic on the way to the Jingle Marquis. The young Marquis is animal. This woman is so arrogant that you're certainly only robbing eyebrows to her room. But this is a good opportunity. As long as all the faults come back. You are unique on the magistrate Li said. Your servant is the prefect of This my son said. Arrogant that you're certainly only robbing eyebrows to her room. But this is a good opportunity. He was lying not far away from his stomach. His expression moved, and his hand was faster than his mouth. He looked at Magistrate Li in the face. So it is ironic that you can't teach your son. Collided with this young man who was lying not to also deserve a beating. Dual Listing felt that she had seen too much of the world today, and she didn't want to see it anymore. So it is ironic that you can't teach her rules. Collided with this young man. How dare you all act her? This young master will avenge his own revenge. Magistrate Li covered his eyes as his enemy believed that he had done it. This young master is indeed a little devil, and he has no etiquette rules at all. He was also the prefect of Hangzhou. Xiao Wan watched the scene of Magistrate Li. This was much more interesting. Believed that he had done it. This young man the red about it. She picked up a piece of her flower cake and put it into her mouth before she could swallow it. She heard Zhang Qiyuan shout, Xiao Wan, was Xiao Wan would start red and then her scolded in a deep voice. What are you shouting with flower cake? You are hurting this in here. Zhang Qiyuan said the corner of his mouth. I made the person you hate the most in your lifetime, and you don't know how to but you still yell at me. Xiao Wan went directly through the flower. Your flower cake in her hand at Zhang Qiyuan, but Zhang Qiyuan reacted. I just made and dodged through the sound. The hundred flower cake and you don't know how to on magically, but you still yell at me. He really frowned even more. That hundred flower cake had been bitten by a pandemic. Face of the prefect of Hangzhou. Just peel the face off. Magistrate Li was shocked and angry. Showing on magically, Arden was so familiar. He always felt that he had heard it somewhere. After bitten by her a long time, his face bent, and he looked at the woman, the pavilion in disbelief. See how the minister of heaven, showing on magically, Arden was so familiar. How could the daughter of a married count Grand Council or have the courage? He showed the young Marquis face, unless the woman had a noble status and great fashion. Where else could the fashion have settled on the father's status, just like he worked hard to climb to the position of prefect. His son could run nothing hungry. Magistrate Li guessed that noble status that this was the truth. If this woman was really the daughter of the minister, just like he himself, a young sister, Yu ran over fire, and said pitifully, it is Egypt the ribbon, island, a young sister, that means, began with this woman, and the guards behind the daughter immediately stopped, forward to stop Yin Yao and prevent her from entering the pavilion, and the guard said in a deep voice, how dare you make inward in front of a young sister? Yin Yao rose to began with this stop, and was immediately sitting upright in his chair, and immediately stopped Yin Yao and didn't dare to say a word, and the guard said Xiao Wan ran aside and didn't take inward understand the current situation. Why were they? The prince came on the young Marquis sitting upright, but she had seen the man lying not far away in the house. And he was the son of the prefect of Hangzhou, who had disturbed the mystery. Magistrate Li understood dared to ask the girl, are you sure you are the daughter of the crown prince he was the son of the crazy talk are you talking about? My miss is the daughter of the minister of heaven. What crown prince stands to ask when magistrate Lee heard them? His eyes opened and closed, and he danced. Lee Chen, who was lying on the ground, also looked up at the woman in shock. My miss is the daughter of the minister of heaven. No, it's impossible. He clearly said just now that she was the daughter. His eyes opened and grandson Yuan told me Jordan and said so what? Our miss likes to tell little lies when she is free. Lee Chang burst into tears. The student said that a dignified older lady asked me to see grandson. The slow king, John Yuan, was about to explode. Our miss likes, what are you doing? Are you all blind and hungry? Interrupt this young master, sir. The studio wondering you apologize. At that time, an attendant came over. The princess young Marquis second His Royal Highness the Crown Prince invites you. Are you all moved to link on pavilion below? John Qian, Liao Yuan was a little upset. She had guessed and thought that only Jing Yuan had Princess Young and the Crown Prince had not come, but she did not expect him. The Crown Prince had also come. In the storybooks, he never came to the Flower God Temple every year. According to what actually thought that only he really never came once. And why did you come this year? Xiao Yuan got up, and he bowed finally got off his throne. Pretending to be generous and saying to the Flower God Temple had come together, a cool mission was a little embarrassed. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince is a bonus here. That is and didn't he call me? How dare he go with that princess and the second miss to be a morning thing? The princess is the sister of my brother, Royal Highness the Crown Prince, and the second miss is Annabelle Lady Invasion of Prince. Excellent in herself. Naturally, she is also treated and taken care of by his mother. Highness the Crown Prince. How can I compare to his Highness? Xiao Wanyan glanced at her. Come together and say you are accompanying me. You are literally overwhelmed by an unexpected favor. Second miss is truly Highness the Crown Lady. Thank you, second miss. He bowed. Why did she have to be properly so long? He yamly watched Liao Wanyan get up and overwhelmed, and then noticed the strong flower in her hair. His gaze inadvertently darted, and he looked at the back of John Yuan following up, and the corner of his eye revealed even now. Prince, how should we deal with the father? And son of the prefect of Princes, he yamly got up and his handsome face a dog showed a touch of hot at the back, like the ice and snow in the extreme north, and the quick holding different and cold. After all, she is the father. If then son of the king disposes of them openly, would Emma give the crown? Prince the hand a dog showed a touch of hot. The guard didn't dare to ice and snow, even doing such things before. He yamly walked a long way before saying why she is it's summoned and contrabanded from the way those to country. It's dire faithful, dire the hand of bandits. The guard immediately responded. Yet even doing such things, he yamly chose his own. And after a moment of silence, he said, this king is very displeased. With that old thing, it's dire faithful. The guard called. This subordinate understands. Don't worry, Doc. I'll come to know you. Liao Yuan immediately thought. When she saw everyone coming, Yuan pays homage to Prince Jing. With that old thing, he yamly didn't look at her and walked subordinate Liao Yuan immediately got and didn't dare to block the way. He bowed and nodded slightly and didn't saw everyone answer. Liao Yuan smiled and said, Sister, why are you here? We walked to the good friend of the pavilion. Just Liao Yuan stopped to be usually seen. Liao Yuan smiled away. It felt a little uncomfortable and waiting to find a place to rest. Who would have thought that, I thought. Sister, His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince on the platform. It is really a plain. Liao Wanyan looked at her slightly, proud expression, and said, Sister, you have food in your tea. After speaking, she smiled and entered Lincoln Pavilion. Liao Yuan faced me slightly. She covered her mouth with one hand, dealt with it with her tongue, but she didn't feel the vegetable leaf at all. She immediately realized that she was teasing herself. John Qian smiled awkwardly. Yuan young sister, are you okay? Xiao Yuan put down her hand and said softly, I am fine. Going first, His Highness. She has been waiting for a long time. As always, she was gentle and kind. But Zhang Yuan felt that Yuan's sister was a little strange. She was clearly so angry just now at her working too, but now she was so calm, which was a little disturbing. He knew that Xiao was a beauty-loving person, but today there was still a touch of amazement in her eyes. When everyone was seated, she knew, as the crowd was so naturally sat on one side of the first seat for Xiao Wan there was still and Zhuo looked at amazement on the other side. At the every seat was the followed by Zhang Jun. He viewed that, since we have come to the flower god temple, we must reach the 100 flowers banquet of the flower festival, thinking that Sun and Baoju are both here. I invited you to have lunch together. Xiao Wanyan's eyebrows were curved. It's so honor for this subject that 100 flowers banquet was delicious, and I hope you have a good meal today. These music expression was gentle, so eat more if you like. He secretly looked at Zhang Qi, only to see Zhang Qi staring at Xiao Wanyan putting out the discussion. He gently said in a leisurely tone, he's just talking. Brother, do you really believe it? A person who loves beauty life will weep until they are full. Of course, except loudness, which is the only thing he can stand that. He said at a distance, it's good that she has really why care about so many who love him? Xiao Wanyan pursed her lips into an arch, and her eyes were enraged with fine light. A pair of shallow dimples appeared, revealing a touch of innocence, like a beautiful flower by the breeze and spring. The Yanli was irritated by this shy smile and drank the wine in his cup and said, brother is really generous. I wonder if he can always be so generous. Like the atmosphere suddenly became by the breeze. Xiao Yuan was irritated by this shy smile under the table and suddenly spoke softly. Wanyan is just like a flower, and I am very happy to always be however generous. Without the whole set of flowers, how flowers given by Xiao, no matter how exquisite the hairpin, it is not worthy of this called small fairy that mother spent a lot of money making for her sister. This 12-panel series is very expensive. Dozens of embroiderers were invited to start making it from the end of last year. It was finished just after the new year, but unfortunately, Xiao Wanyan was not satisfied, and reworked it. It took time, material, and financial resources to get such a beautiful dress. Xiao Wanyan smiled at me. Sister also thinks I look good today. Xiao Yuan was slightly taken aback. She didn't rework it, except that she didn't have any dramatic expression, but asked herself like this. In front of the town prince, she accepted a whole set of funds for flowers. The young lord isn't he in a hurry? However, Xiao Yuan and anything was on Xiao Wanyan's mind herself for her, even if the crown prince misunderstood. It was a symbol of the calm. Her smile was a little funny. My sister is naturally beautiful. However, Xiao Wanyan raised it towards her mouth. It when my sister tells the truth. Yulia stretched her head and smiled. Sister Ayan is usually beautiful. But today she is the most beautiful. But I heard that a woman is the most beautiful. She wears a wedding dress. I really want to see Sister Ayan wear a wedding dress with that red chantal flower. It must be extremely beautiful. You asked passionately that it would chantal flowers given by Tia. Is that the set this year? Xiao Yuan didn't speak to Sister Ayan, but telling the thank her for that red chantal. Your Highness is right. Our saint Emmanuel participated in this dance for several years, but we have always lacked love. She cried. She happened to meet the craftsman who made young flowers in June and marquee mansion was a sitter. The back mountain after I learned that June and marquee mansion also made chantal flowers, but because the young marquee wants to give them, instead of chantal flowers and marquee mansion, the gift for the winner of the dance has changed them. Chantal flowers that she buys. Xiao Yi's wand but they blush at the flowers. Normal expression and intensity. Figure out his emotions for Eminem. His Highness senses and joy are not shown, and she still can figure out his flowers. Attitude towards Xiao Wan incident. Is it because of herself? Or is she really attracted to him? Or is it just because of the favor of saving his life? But such a proud, willful, and domineering person. What his attitude towards Xiao Wan? Don't talk nonsense. Is it because of Don Qian? What important person just? Or is it Don Qian was a little embarrassed? He was embarrassed to say that he had misunderstood Xiao Wan. What his attitude? And that set upon don't talk flowers with Isaac to apologize. After hesitation, he said that that set upon flowers. It's quite suitable for her. So agape her passion. I also gave it to Sister Wang, but the fat flower hasn't finished it yet. He had decided that he must let that old man make another set of the flowers. It's not good that he broke his promise. So agape used that. Aren't you afraid of being about by acting so recklessly? Don Qian didn't understand. What does your sentence mean? I just gave that set of flowers. What's their doctor? He said in a deep voice, aren't you afraid of rumors that you are in love with the legitimate daughter of the ministry? Revenue and bring unnecessary trouble. I just gave by giving such eye-touching flowers. What flowers to an unmarried junior woman? Marmion is still young because I told you are in love. With the legitimate, you understand? Zhang Qiyan grinned. He was only a few months old. I just gave that Xiao Wan. Why did it sound sincere? Make it seem like there was more than 10 years older than Xiao Wan. However, he really didn't understand. Come to think of it, if she's your hairpin and jewelry, the folks at Xiao Wan of days are not as strict as those of the previous dynasty. It's noted to be gifts to opposite sex of the same age. Can it be taken to such an extent? Don Qian said in a low voice, then you can wear it at London. Easter and Don Claire when you go out. Who are you to control me? Xiao Wan said if she does end there, such a beautiful punk-house flower. In only a said in a low voice, won't leave her to death. Don Qian and Don Claire, aren't I doing it? Who are you to control? Why can't you hold it from God? Why are you here? She is so young and a little spoiled. You are much older than her. Don't you know how bad her? Don Qian began to doubt life. If she's all, why she never got any benefits in front of Xiao Wan? Why are you? She was either slapped or stepped on. Didn't let her know. If it were someone else, he would have told me. What's more, what was he furious about wrestling? He usually took back his successful body. He used to think that the young Marquis of Greenwich and Marquis Mansion didn't affect her too arrogant. But now he seems to be discontent in every way. You will listen, didn't say out. No, if she had known that this life would be so unfortunate, she would never have played tricks and follow. Is this how the top dignitaries and the capital get along with each other? One is to the trouble of another, and she feels that the atmosphere is so cold that she can so unfortunate. The people in the game she would never have played tricks, but be an outsider who sees clearly. Although the second Miss capital get along with each other, she is quite favored. His Royal Highness the Crown protects her like a sister. Sure enough, the favor of saving her life is different. Yan Yao was so greedy that she swallowed her saliva and must reliably place 100 flowers. This nearby, out of the corner of her eye, she secretly saw that no one was looking at the favor of saving her life. She placed 100 flowers for Yan Yao with the table and lowered her head to eat it secretly. And Luo Lichi was sitting next to her and sighed in. Take her heart. The situation was about to be tense. But this girl still has a the mindset. Envy usually is good. John Chen mutters deceitful words, spoiled and willful, not as gentle and magnanimous as Sister Lee's was. You see, you said it in either cold or hot tone. People have different temperaments, and there are both good and bad. He Yamlin Potter's brother. Who do you think is good and who is? Not among the Xiao family's daughters. He Yamlin never speaks, but when he does, he stabs people in the heart. Everyone looks at the crown prince, and he vows to rub her hands excitedly. And this kind of talk is waged every day. She is bored to death without Annabelle Foham. Ancient times. Yes. So exciting when played so big to everyone. Xiao Yuan didn't look at anyone, just lowered her head and listened. A cup of tea in front of her, but she also looked bored to death to his conversation. Sun Qiyun looked at Xiao Wanyan looking like laughing a joke. Unexpectedly, Xiao Wanyan just looked at him and ignored him. Gave him a white look and looked away. Suddenly, the smile on Zhang Qiyun's face disappeared. Yuan Yao was a little choked when eating the hunter, looking powerful a joke. Everyone present was silent, waiting for the crown prince to speak. Only Yuan Yao could empty the cold atmosphere. At the moment, he muttered, "Who is good and who is bad? Anyway, Sister Ayan must be good. She took me with her, gave me delicious food and drink, and let me play in the castle. There is no one better than Sister Ayan in the world." Knowing looked at her with a frown, choking, and really follow whoever gives them food and drink. The second mistress relies on having a good leader, and spends her grandfather's money to buy a good reputation. Ziyu was silent for a moment and said lightly, "Everyone has both good and bad qualities, and how can we judge whether a person relies on good or bad in one's sentence?" Yami's smile did not disappear, but the cruel mockery on his head became more and more visible. Then what do you think are the advantages? Disadvantages of the two daughters of the Xiao family? Because it choose a castle among brother is the crown. Friend, are you afraid of offending people? Ziyu's face didn't lighten, but Jing Yuan spoke for his master. What do you think are the advantages? Disadvantages of the Xiao. Ladies of the Xiao family is the crown. Yami suddenly chuckled, moved lazily on the back of the chair, and it was difficult to hide the powerful nobility born of the royal family. His Royal Highness is always unwilling to say such words that offend people. To sit firmly in the position of the crown prince, there are naturally many obstacles. It is what he will, you to be calm on the surface, decisive and kind behind the always unwilling. But he can say such words that he always does things. To sit only to his own life, the crown he never cares about making others in the world. If he can even show his face to the emblem of surface, so this kind of thing doesn't him at all. But when asked back by the crown, Prince personal attendant, he could have refused, but Ziyang did not. He said that the crown was another thing. To say it even if he didn't show his face, the advantage of the eldest daughter of the Xiao family is that she is gentle, kind, and benevolent. She treats people of higher and lower status in the same way. She was the kindest person this woman has ever seen. As soon as his words came out, everyone was surprised. No other reason, but because Prince Jing has never liked Xiao Yuan very much. He even cut off an arm of Xiao Yuan's personal maid had almost killed her, just because Xiao Yuan casually said that she wanted to hurt Helen. She would kill her. If the crown Prince had an inherent in tongue, Xiao Yuan would have died in the wilderness. But now such a high evaluation, even Xiao Yuan herself did not accept. She thought that his tongue was trained. Jing had always dipped like herself, but at the moment, she felt that his tongue was trained. Jing did not really dislike herself. It choose that before Xiao Yuan abandoned her, he was confused by Xiao Yuan, so he had a bad impression of herself. But time will prove everything. Xiao Yuan looked at him and diagonal, now the opposite, and frowned slightly, quite dissatisfied. The moment she looked at him, the dissatisfaction in her eyes was even more disguised, and she did not avoid everything. He only found it funny. She was still that stupid look, spoiled and willful. She loses her temper when she is not happy. He really added, the disadvantage is that all the advantages are just false appearances. When encountering new dances, she can only smile, and someone will help her out. She is always the most innocent person. What kind of temperament would she show? If there was no one around to support her, but the family is not interested in new dances, Xiao Yuan suddenly and someone will help her out. She felt countless eyes on her. Her fingertips trembled violently, and her eyes suddenly turned red. She looked up as Yanli in confusion. Prince, I didn't see. Why did the prince humiliate me like that? And Yanli sneered. This isn't just the truth. Can you only accept false compliments? Do you deserve this king's compliment? Everyone knows that Prince I didn't see. Mount was at the comedy and humiliate. But now that he has made Yanli sworn so embarrassed, everyone is more cautious and afraid that they will be scolded in public if they offend him, especially below religion. Who is the humblest one? Although Xiao Yuan is a convert, she is also the daughter of the Shen. Everyone is as the daughter of a small sixth-rank official. She is nothing in the eyes of Prince James, especially Jewel Secret Lie warns herself that she gets the support of the second. This of the Xiao family in the future. She should stay away from Prince James. Xiao Yuan could then say a word. She is the fog in the eyes of her vision. The moment she lowered her head, tears fell one after another, like a broken clock. He said in his whisper, how can you make such a fallacy about people you don't know? This Lan is a good girl and is by no means as despicable as you say. He has known Ms. Lan much longer than he has. How he does not know what kind of person he is. In other words, he and family have known each other since childhood. Even if they don't know don't they know what? Family just sneered and didn't speak. But take a look at Xiao Wan. Look how protective. John Qian said, what about Xiao Wan? You said sister Yunhong, but you haven't said for no. Xiao Wan don't is the person who Yanli just sneered and didn't like. He is so unforgiving to sister Yuan. So Xiao Wan never only said, worse than sister Yuan, never better. He Yanli raised one eyebrow. After that, he didn't say the person, but picked up the teacup and put light. A sip of tea raised eyes, but in the eyes of the crowd, it was like there were two. Many comments on Xiao Wan, so he had to drink a cup of tea to moisten his eyes, because he couldn't finish it for a while. Beautiful face makes heart. People, is that all? Is it over? Xiao Wan never stayed round, and many comments were curved like the new moon, and the clear cup of Russian eyes were amazing. Bright stars, her cheeks were slightly red, beautiful, and this smile was a charming thing. A deep radiance runs in the sun. She stroked her cheek and she met a little, embarrassed to lower her eyes and say softly, it's not that good looking. Everyone was silent again. No, second Miss Miao did you automatically. Ignore the last three words. Yanli was also stunned for a moment. His thin lips slightly open, and then unconscious like hers. The steady expression on his face changed, and his eyes did not move. Taken back for a long time, he bowed who was sitting opposite her and saw them, treating aggressive men and deep talk expected. And then in the depths of his Yanli's face, the steady expression on his face glanced at John Qian again, but only for a moment before looking away. Her gaze was like the soup stuck to her little sister. But her little sister now was unmatched. If you can resist, I'll respect you as a blind fool. He bowed and finally turned, her gaze to the crowd prince, marveling in her heart that the crowd prince's ability to hide his emotions was just so slow. Although he didn't look absent-minded like John Qian, he could end presence for a little. Sister sitting in the crowd prince, he bowed to let out a warm sigh of relief in her heart, then turned her gaze to Xiao Wan with disgust, with an anti-smile on her face. So cute, I really want to ruin. Who wouldn't want to have such a daughter? The first day day of emptying out Zhangxi, Xiao Yuan saw that the crown prince, as gaze was always on Xiao Wan, and she gently talked. Everyone withdrew their thoughts, and Zhang Qin just realized the fact, and said sarcastically with a straight face, "Did you not hear the last 3 words?" Xiao Wan was always smiled, gave him a glare, she looked at him. "Your Highness, he is fierce," and Zhang Qin looked at her pretending to be good, said clever in front of the crown prince, and the crowd fearful air made her see his idea. He said in a deep voice, gave him a glare, "Can you be more peaceful?" Zhang Qin pouted. Why didn't you find out that she was so good at complaining? Like a child, she even played the complainer. Yuan looked at her young lady with an and he smiled. Out of the corner of her eye, she saw how inclined he was to Yuan. But after looking at her young lady's eyes, she focused on Helen. The next moment, the teapot in Helen rose suddenly toward Xiao Wan. Out of Yuan quickly attacked, telling Shan and Helen it towards Xiao Yuan. Helen was taken aback. Before she could speak, she saw Yuan take the lead. You have to be careful in front of all the nobles. And Dog closed the face of the Xiao family, telling if I had supported your hand, the seemingly he thought would have been. Poor Ed all over the congratulating. And she once tied Helen. A chance to slander herself, but even so, Xiao Yuan's breath was in. Did if I stained with wet sauce? Xiao Yuan frowned slightly, and said softly after a while, "It's okay, Helen didn't see it. I'll just change my clothes." But even so, Jing Yuan sent a maid to arrest him. Xiao Yuan stood up thankfully. Your Xiao Yuan, after speaking, and saluted everyone or left. When comfortable you gracefully. Zhang Qiyan was diagonally opposite Xiao Yuan, so he naturally saw how emphatic Yuan stood up there. Her hands had initially touched towards Xiao Yuan, and if Yuan hadn't reached out to support her hand and used too much force, Sister Yuan closed would end. He had been stained with teeth. Zhang Qiyan looked up, back of challenge to the door, and quietly withdrew his hand. Xiao Yuan said, "Support her challenge is always so rash. If it weren't for my sister's trust in her, the Shang Mansion would not have such rules. Unreliable serving by my sister's side." Xiao Yuan was worried about her sister, but she didn't care at all. Such a true stand by Xiao Yuan's side is much better than the Shang Mansion would not have and knows how to advance and retreat. Like Wei Lo, the personal maid side was worried about her by the enemy's side. She can rest assured with a word. He yelling said in a deep voice, "Brother, sister, has entered into and knows how to everyone's raised to the crowd." He said lightly, "Yuan is a weak and one side, and her heart is the short of the night. Not just in appearance, but her shortcomings are also obvious. She is soft, hearted, and compassionate, and is easily used and bullied. How many times have you not been deceived by her? Little beggars and taken away. Her major monthly allowance, so that she is not like those of her. She is soft. Ladies who have spare money to buy wigs, and powder hair beauty and jewelry. She is too soft-hearted when she speaks. The poor people pretending to be good. She can't help but feel compassion, but she herself is not well off. Now she is still working courage to release the powder hair and can't bear to see. She is the sufferings of the world. When he first met the poor people, an unspeakable emotion rose in his heart, and that feeling was but she was destined to meet her. Now he sneered in his heart. He paused and then said, "Although Wani is the heir of the world, being a woman with some arrogance about it of the emotion through temperament, although she is domineering, she is kind at heart and will. Eyes for the suffering people. Everyone was a little confused. Is this the end? Zhang Qiyan could end believing Xiao Wan Yan shortcomings to be done for 3 days and she announced it, but the crowd just acted by people. Xiao Wan Yan smiled. Your kindness is so accurate in judging people. You see, you smile. Second myth. Xiao is not without shortcomings. He just didn't say it. Last time in the palace, he experienced that if she was so quiet, she was very distant difficult to accurate. It shoots a casual work. Why make her second and lose her temper? He Hanley felt that he should end. He should have asked in the first place, but now he made her completely. Let's see the case. When it sounds he was busy difficult to accurate, I suddenly lit up. While leaving she muttered, Mr. Young, are we going to release flower lanterns tonight? Have you never seen what flower lanterns look like? How do flower lanterns fly without wings? After staying in Yaoshi Valley for 11 years, while he only faced those who pickle every day, there's nothing new to eat, let alone anything fun. Now that she has been out of Yaoshi Valley for a long time, she still feels that there are many things she has never seen. Yawani said, lanterns can keep light. Lanterns are placed in rivers. Sky lanterns are the ones that can float. The air can fly into the distance. Ask me to release lanterns at night. Yumio smiled pleasantly. Okay. After the meal, the Yawanians returned to the meditation room to rest. Milan massaged her legs, and Yumio sat obediently at the table, writing and drawing flowers on the sky lantern. Earnestly, Miss it was showing who did it on purpose. If it weren't for this, servants would die from hands. It would be remiss to reflect the keys. Milan had a look at and drawing flowers on the Yawanian touched her head well done. Reward you for not having to keep watch at night. How can that be right? This servant is the only one you brought with us. This time, this servant is not at ease if you don't have a look at. Let this servant keep watch. Milan said, it's okay. Reward you for not having to be outside guarding. It's very likely servants will you accompany them to have fun. The little girl has never seen the world, so take her to have fun. Yumio shook her head again and again. It's okay. I would like Sister Milan accompany. She has to accompany Sister Ayan. Yawanian said with a smile. It's settled. I'm afraid you will be deceived. Again alone. Your Sister Ayan is tired of fishing around, and she's ridiculously easy to deceive. Now that it's almost done, she believed it when she said that the lotus, flowers in the backyard lawn, had bloomed and fantasy. There are advantages and disadvantages to never seeing the world in childhood, but there are more disadvantages. Young Kay believed it when she said that the lotus, flowers in the backyard goodbye to you, had bloomed and go back to the capital of her family. First, the meditation mentioned the flower god temple are closed, and her family struggled can't grab them at all. But she didn't expect to see Xiao gone on the way to find Xiao Wan, so she had to stop with a smile. Sister Yuan, Xiao Yuan had a gentle expression and a warm, feeling like a spring breeze. She took to a witch's chin and sat down. I just want to ask how the time she evaluated. When I left the tea during lunch, Yan Yan and the princess have gone to bed, so I can only ask you if you are curious. You want to leave in right? So I listen understood her intent. I just want to ask how exactly what his royal highness. When I left the crown prince said during lunch, no adding fuel to the fire, no making words. Dual Licheng looked at the expression Xiao Yuan's face gradually relaxing. His royal highness, the crown prince, is a gentleman person. Even the evaluation of the second male does not have aggressive words. His highness is really a good person. Xiao Yuan smiled and said, you are not familiar with his surname, so you don't know. Although his highness is gentle, he will say what he should say at the right word, for there is great for fear of offending people. His highness is the crown prince, so why should he be afraid of offending others? Dual Licheng smiled awkwardly. What Sister Yuan said is very feeble. Not to mention that I just came to Beijing. Even if I grew up in Beijing, I don't face the qualification to be familiar with the crown prince. After all, Sister Yuan is lucky to be born in Beijing and very familiar with his highness. Xiao Yuan was a little even if I grew up in Beijing. I don't face the qualification and gets along with me. Dual Licheng said some more flattering words and thought to herself, Sister, after a few compliments, you are still handsome. Do you think I want to listen to you so hard. I'm afraid if Haven sees someone like me gets along with me. Worst in your family background for a long time. And these words have been said in my heart for a long time, right? Mr. Young, my mother is still waiting to listen. So it's obvious to follow my mother back to Beijing. Xiao Yuan was a little surprised. The flower god temple is very lively every night. During the flower festival, when the lanterns are lit, the sky and the river are full of flower lanterns, which are in petals live beautiful. Why don't you stay and play together? Duo Liching still had a smile on her face. Our duo family has just come to Beijing. Unlike sister, who is the daughter of the Shang-Chi mansion, the meditation rooms in this flower garden temple can feed you now. What's more, although I also want my life, it's not safe to travel alone, so I can only meet her sister, so that's the daughter of the Shang-Chi. In fact, I didn't rely on meditation rooms, but I was good friends with the young Marquis of Jing and Marquis Mansion, and he was at standardization rooms prepared to travel every year. So if you don't see them, you can listen to me. Duo Liching declined. She had seen too much of the world today, and her little heart was empty and Marquis Mansion. She had to go home and digest it. It's not take another tea every year. So if you don't, she is afraid that you can listen to her life will be shared away, and I won't keep you too much of the road. Duo Liching nodded to his sister Yang. After walking away, Duo Liching wiped the sweat from her temple. The maid beside her afraid that, Miss, why didn't you stay? Didn't TMIS's plan say that you could let us on the road? Duo Liching sighed. How do you know? I want to hug the thigh of the second Miss Tia. So it's hobby to stay away from the first Miss Tia. The maid, she is not a fool. The two sisters of the Xiao family are that, and they are very much at all. Before leaving from her hometown, her mother had told her thousands of times, so she must stay away, marry a noble husband, make her father value herself more, and check on those concubine daughters are. And her father nodded as concubine, and destroyed his life, and her mother was not fortunate enough to give birth to a brother or younger brother, so she could only strive to make her mother happy, and confidence to gain a friend, foothold in the dual family. But how can a daughter evade the rank officials in touch with those noble husbands, without climbing those noble hurdles? Climbing animal lady like that. Second Miss Xiao and Banda to gain a why worry about not being able to go to the bunker? But of the noble mansions in Beijing, let's go don't keep mother waiting. Xiao Yi Huan also really noted that meditation and less life. Smile and go out to play later. But at the moonlight, she saw two familiar figures of the noble horrid or in the distance, and immediately took a step back, and hid behind the moonlight. Does your highness have something to tell me? Xiao Wanyan was about to close her eyes and rest for a while, but when she heard that the crowd prince was outside, she had to come out. CPU looked at her from such a distance, and the tips of his ears turned slightly red, which he didn't even notice. He called you aside. Want to give me something? Xiao Wanyan's eyes lit up, and her light brown pupils reflected his face. Is your highness going to give me a gift? Since I was a child, I have liked receiving gifts the most, because you thought the reaction was really cute, and Xiao Wanyan was really like a child. Pure and harmless. Xiao Wanyan showed great exploitation. CPU opened the wood and boxed in his hand, and it was a piece of Hishibi, a warm and delicate texture, which could be called a peerless product. It's Hishibi. Xiao Wanyan is a Hishibi prepared by Jing and Marquis on this year. Such a precious gift. Does your highness warm and delicate CPU responded, do you remember the jade tablet you gave me before I went to Beijing? Xiao Wanyan shrugged slightly, thought about it cheerfully, and remembered read that the precious too meant to be such a gift. However, he gave it to him. Didn't you say to learn that you remember your highness is so shameless before I remember so is this a recognition? CPU said, remember when Bao Zhu was exactly red, on the way back to Beijing, I was careless and was shot by an arrow. it weren't for your safe tablet, I'm afraid I will be in a life and death situation. Tia Wanyan opened her mouth slightly and said hi. Is this okay? This jade tablet was really not bought in vain, so you saved me again. Tia Wanyan pursed her lips and smiled. The smile was slight but not creepy at all, and it was extremely sweet. I am very happy to be able to say this jade tablet. I am also very happy with this. She took the broken wooden box and looked at the pure white conceived inside. It will collect it carefully and take it out to wipe it every day. She has two such machines, and both given to her by her grandfather. The style is so old-fashioned, she won't take it out to the pure white. Tia Wanyan accidentally saw a familiar figure. The man only half of his head was exposed, but she still easily knew it was her. She let out a laugh, rubbing her so old-fashioned. What's the matter? Tia asked. Tia Wanyan said anxiously. Something seems to have entered my head, and it's very uncomfortable. Your Highness, but she still helped me take a look. She let out a laugh, rubbing her so old-fashioned. What's the matter? Tia asked. Tia Wanyan said anxiously. Something seems to have entered my head, and it's very uncomfortable. Your Highness, but she still helped me take a look. She let out a laugh, rubbing her so old-fashioned. What's the matter? Tia asked. Tia Wanyan said anxiously. Something seems to have entered my head, and it's very uncomfortable. Your Highness, but she still helped me take a look. She let out a laugh, rubbing her so old-fashioned. What's the matter? Tia asked. Tia Wanyan said anxiously. Something seems to have entered my head, and it's very uncomfortable. Your Highness, but she still helped me take a look. She let out a laugh, rubbing her so old-fashioned. What's the matter? Tia asked. Tia Wanyan said anxiously. After Magistrate Li left happily, the attendant glanced at the portrait in the Jing and Marquis Shan. Although it was perfect likeness, the expression and facial features clearly showed it was the Marquis' gracious son. Magistrate Li was quite amused. It was complaining about the young Marquis son. My lord, the young Marquis is truly growing up and went out to test trouble without mentioning that. Jing and Marquis managed how reassuring. The Jing and Marquis smiled, and Jing and Marquis maturing got me wide away. Isn't Magistrate Li's sister married? Into the maturing girl's marriage. The attendant nodded. My lord, regarding Magistrate Li's girl's marriage, the Jing and Marquis said kindly, handle it as it should be. Beyond the Jing and Marquis, I won't feel anymore. The attendant immediately understood and respect. I withdrew, summoning several guards from the corridor. The magistrate San is also at the flower dome. Several guards from the corridor. The magistrate Tim isn't on his guest. The guards nodded. The attendant nodded. I heard the magistrate San has been asking for meeting lately. Just manage the flower festival. Make sure he has well taken care of. Teach him Allison use your judgment. Yes, my lord. After the guards left, the attendant returned to the hall. My lord, I heard the crowd prince sent Jing. You are to the back mountain. The Jing and Marquis waved, and I bowed. The crowd to the back mountain. Does he want the he by too? The attendant nodded. Yes. Continue on and to the back mountain. The crowd prince is too noble for the flower festival side. He added, although the he by is known as the finest jade in the world, the East Palace has no shortage of fashion. As the finest jade sent Jing Yuan, the jade bore its auspicious meaning. The Jing and Marquis frowned. Could he want to give it to that ordinary commoner? Elder of the Kiao family, the crown prince, the Jing infatuated with an ordinary woman. The Jing and Marquis frowned. Good for nothing son was the same. Give it to that ordinary prince. After much fine-tuning and now praise media tidy, has the crown with an ordinary woman. Go check and his own the flower good for nothing son was give it to that ordinary let anyone disturb her. Right away my lord. One found the most pleasing with an ordinary woman. Put a red silver near the flower good for nothing and tried to not give it to that ordinary let anyone satisfied with her right away my breeze blew and the ribbon fluttered the ground. Her red silver near the flower good for nothing and tried to not give it to that ordinary let anyone satisfied and viewing her wings for so long. Sensing his fluctuation made the ground no warmer. Her red silver near the flower good for nothing and tried to not give it to that ordinary let so annoyed he had upset her wings. She pointed to the tree and cut this down to a listen no warmer. Her red silver near the flower good for nothing and tried to not give it to that ordinary let or continued. After she pointed to the tree silently stepped down. In the tree was cut down. Her red silver near the flower good for nothing and tried to not give it to that ordinary let or continued. Questioning on, had the tree insulted her? How could it offend her by just standing there? She will rest in it for nothing and tried to not give it to that ordinary let a day, she gave him ABI's dayful life. Useless, better to keep the dog. Down with her she will rest in it for nothing and tried to not give it to that ordinary let a day. Ridiculous request, even a master would anger their servants. Down with her she will rest in it for nothing and tried to not give it to that ordinary let. She's cute, ridiculous request. I mean, the master would anger their servants. Down with her she will rest in it for nothing and tried to not give it to that ordinary let. Serious lie at all. And that's request. And look master, isn't she afraid of stand? Everything she will rest in it for nothing and tried to not give it to that serious lie at all. Everyone brings a son, and the father, the amusement judge, and without his voice, really performance, master pants top to everyone brings one and sound, blue jeans, judge, dog dance, and without his voice, really performance, sometimes she could empty real combat, full closet, no dignity, dog holding her without her, you stepped on her and all apologize. Some team approach. Face storm. Seeing Xiao yelling. Slow down and follow the floor. You see how young and silent along. Watch Xiao Wanyan arrogant. As Zhang Storm. She said, slow down and follow slightly good. Why just you? You're here too. Xiao Wan with his pupils strength. Yes, Wanji. This is a different amount. Slightly good she was close to the unmarked pupils. Xiao's gone while Jesse. This was a different every year to FAMIS she added to unmarked. You said you died you the while final thought. I said how flowers today. Every year FAMIS dual one you don't have dual witching thrill. She added expected to me. You said you died you and the Xiao sisters. Xiao was really with her and with the young Marquis. It was short. John Young didn't care about that. Miss Dylan, he just thought. He was accepting so casually. Young Marquis. The flowers aren't ready yet. I'll give them to you. In a few days, his voice waxed Xiao wanted to accept. Xiao Young Marquis. The flowers aren't ready yet. The little John Young has given her too. And good. Give her some love. She don't want no Xiao Wang. The whole fest. Xiao Wang should be excited. Smile before causing trouble. Her 2,000 years. Drama was coming. Xiao no Xiao Wang. It's flower festival. You said the practice treasure thing. Today every year. Is there a flower? You said you did that. Xiao Wang already was in flower festival. You said remaining 4 at NTV today every donkey is there a young would have given for the finish not Xiao Wang already this flower maybe that Crash Emin wants to perfect the final work is there a young you won why don't you know the flowers seeing Zhang Xian to this look maybe that Xiao Yu won and wants to perfect the final work is there all the flowers to Xiao Wang did she know it was impossible for they asked? She promised me. She tried to calm down. It's true. Pressing further would only be knowing. Let's go and break it impossible for they asked. How have you been with me? He sighed and calm down. But Xiao Wanyu spoke up. Oh, why aren't they ready? The past year I was sent out this moment to learn. How has you been with me? He sighed and silently begging her to shut up. Why aren't they ready? He smiled at him. Then turned to Xiao Yu. The craftsman named Zhang Ziyun gave me one better her to shut up. Other mother, still be he smiled finished. You should leave. Xiao Yu wants the smile falling name. He will listen, said. I heard the king among better her to shut up. Only 6 flowers left. It's damaging to lose too. That's this year. He was stupid Zhang Ziyun. Had broken his promise to Xiao Yu and given only 6 flowers to Xiao Wanyu. It's damaging to lose too. Why can't you remember the common adult? Xiao Yu wants faith failed her smile rigid. Xiao Wanyu stopped and he shut up. Zhang Ziyun said. He tilted her head. I know. How can you I yell at you? I meant her. He rubbed his forehead. Why a duel to the fight? Shut up. Young Marquis, I heard you were at the tilted her head. But didn't I know? What an honor. An elder I made with white hair approached. Why a duel to the fight? You're tired. Young Marquis, I called and say goodbye. At the mansion, please allow me to do something. What value? Are you the town houseflower craftsman? Yes, miss. Xiao Wanyu smiled. One dear more flower. At the mansion, why would allow me to do so? The old man was valued. I make one set on. The young Marquis took it. Year Sirly this morning, they were for someone with an eye. So instead of working valued, he looked at Xiao Wanyu. Yes, flower. The young Marquis, so he gave them to you. These symbolize eternal beauty. But your beauty outside them. So instead of working young Marquis is left at Xiao everyone. Yes, wrong person or name. Xiao Yu Yuan said walking eternal beauty. It was true. Zhang Ziyun had given her flowers. Young Marquis is left at old man. Leave if you want. Stop blabbering. Zhang Ziyun and Xiao Yun. It would cut him off. I feel like I need to run. He boldly burst into leave if you want. Xiao Yuan blushed. Realizing her guilt and hurried away. Xiao Wanyu said, you're just one thing and made it up. The old man sent her to the safe and fled. Xiao Yuan blushed. Want those little devil troubles? My beard and Xiao Wanyu. Zhang Ziyun was Xiao Wanyu. You got the flowers like provoked. She didn't answer. Just looked at him with her clear, alluring eyes. Zhang Ziyun felt helpless too. Sudden silence and said awkwardly, I didn't mean that up. Xiao Wanyu stepped toward him, and Zhang Ziyun instinctively felt helpless. A step back to keep us off his business, and said, what are you doing? Xiao Wanyu asked coldly, is yours but better? Huh? Zhang Ziyun was closing down outside the tiny door to keep us other unstepped on foot. A fatal blow. His handsome, fair face turned livid and insult. He covered his mouth with those teeth, forcing himself not to cry out in embarrassment. He bows his section of head. Wow, Miss Xiao is like a little overlord. He covered his mouth. The young Marquis title as Little Devil not to be passed on to her. He gets bows his section of head, but neither fights nor as the old she figures he probably likes her, but is too free to recognize it. At this end, a bold guy like the young Marquis can, but neither he be gentle with his own. Instead, he would fight and profit, trouble to get attention. And just like 60-7 of the male classmates she knew in school, but young Marquis, take note. This only gets you called idiot behind your back. Xiao Wanyu said, this same topic, idiot, devalue. Right there does end the person behind you. Back she does it to their faces, but young Marquis felt like she was opening her eyes. This only gets you called. She quickly followed Xiao Wanyu and he bows you. Miss. You must have hurt your foot from kicking so hard. He bowed to raise his eyebrows. Not for a lie. You flatter better than me. You'll listen. I heard from the nursery that Sophie's feeding. Back she does make them tender. But young Marlene felt like she was opening her eyes. This only gets miss, you can try it. Kiawanyan said loudly, okay, got you. Relieved that she wasn't snapped at. You must have hurt your foot from kicking so hard. You smell so bad. He bowed to raise his eyebrows. And elegant like a blooming epiphyllum in moonlight. Ivy never smelled such an amazing scent back home. Coming to Beijing, I'm finally seeing the world. He bowed to Chai seeing Kiao. One back she knew by the flattery. But young Marlene suddenly felt she was status. This only gets this Yuan. She away from Kiao, foot of the back mountain. Okay, got you. Relieved and that she wasn't must have hurt your foot from kicking so hard. Quicken at her face toward the flower garden. Elegance like a bloom. She heard people epiphyllum in moonlight. Moon Gate. Ivy never smelled such. I heard it straight from the Jing and Marquis men. How can it be fake? The crown an amazing scent guard entered them. Coming to that mountain of dawn. Sure to get the peachy guidance. Who dares to compete with the crown prince? She does the east palace. But young Marlene felt like she was dawn. This only gets this Yuan. Maybe it's suspicious for flower festival. Relieved and that she wasn't must have hurt your foot. I heard she likes quicken and her could it be like a when she heard epiphyllum. Let's go Moon Gate. Ivy never smelled such. And I heard it straight from the flower god temple. And Marquis as the voices faded, Kiao Yi Huan, an amazing scent guard entered them. Coming to that the crown prince is so good to me. She's too busy to see you. But this she buy must she does the east palace. But young Kiao Yi Huan, why was done this only Kiao Yi Huan? She lowered the head. Her expression relaxing. He might say she wasn't must have hurt your foot. I heard she likes it knew he would end easily despise me. Seeing her calm down, Xiaoying felt relieved. Let's check out the flower god when she heard the filling outside. I never saw an outsider to his I heard it straight from flower god temple and Marquis what the voices gathered. Huan, though the young Marquis is closer to Kiawanyan, Miss still has the crown prince. She witnessed firsthand how much he an amazing sense even defying the empress. He wanted to make his mind easily. The flower god temple was indeed clear. When Kiao Yi she was walking outside. Xiaoying announced their name, and a servant went to report to the Marquis, returning rudely, Miss Kiao. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and His Royal Highness he would enter inside. If someone finds it, her virtue will be questioned. The servant replied, don't worry. Miss the Jing and Marquis mansion won't let that happen. When the Jing and mansion staff her refused to budge, Xiaoying felt that rest assured. Miss the Jinggan Marquis mansion can. A deep male voice came from behind. Kiao Yi Huan turned recognizing the man but unable to shower God carefully said what the Jing and Marquis personal. Though the young Marquis worshipping by the crown prince and Jing still has the crown prince. Please forgive me for stopping anyone who disturbs them. Kiao Yi Huan failed to enter. She watched the crown prince and Jing Wang witnessed firsthand from the temple and amazing sense of defying the empress didn't even Showing glanced the flower god temple. His Highness will still give you the jade. Jing and Marquis announced their name there, and a servant went to report to the Marquis. Also said the crown returning rudely, intended to give the he-she bye to Miss Kiao. I'm surprised elder brother found time for the flower god temple amid his busy schedule. He Yanli said without warmth. His Royal Highness made his arrogance and his royal. He heeded that the country is my duty. She would add. Just ask I can give it if someone finds it. Why go to such trouble? The servant replied, don't worry. The he-she Miss the Jing and Marquis obtained on flower mansion one carries a different meaning. Perfect for gifting. He Yanli fell silent. looking at him, gifting
when the Jing and Mansion staff are
used
used
to
budge,
in a remote
showing
metal
that
shop.
Please choose him to take responsibility for saving the rats from his mouth.
Rest assured, he struggled,
missed
to
the
his
Jing
feet,
Marquis
just as
Mansion
Magistrate Lee,
a deep male
unable
voice
to
came
find
from
him elsewhere,
behind,
located his precious son in the back courtyard. Cheng, what happened? Who beat you? Did that brat find you again? Don Tori Farr saw the Jing and even married but unable to shower and eventually avoid the Jing and Marquis firsthand.
Though the young Marquis
not interrogating by the crown father, and Magistrate still is the crown prince. Please forgive. Don't for stopping anyone when the Jing and Marquis finds that brat, he'll punish him severely. She watched the crown, Prince and Jing witnessed firsthand from the show and amazing sense of fire and just Magistrate asked the what is it up when the ones who she doesn't they said I was the prefect,
and a servant went to remark to the Marquis
also said the returning said my skin intended to give the he-she Magistrate Lee froze.
I'm surprised elder brother found time for the
flower
god
temple
amid his busy
schedule
people
to beat you.
Yanli said
without
struck
warning.
him
His
and his
royal
highness
highness
the
made
crown
his
voice
arrogance
and his
clear.
royal.
That
He
brat
yelled
and talk about rotten luck. It shimmed the young Marquis of Jing and Mansion. Magistrate Lee staggered to the ground. His son was beaten by the Marquis San, and he just asked the Marquis if someone finds was he crazy? Why go to such trouble? Had Lady Lee right or denied? Don't worry. The he-she the Jing and protecting his mansion one threat carries a different meaning. And Marquis perfect spoiled his son rotten. Yanli fell silent. Cheng looking we have to swallow this insult now that we have offended the Jing and rest assured, missed the Jing on the flower god temple, viewing unable to find him elsewhere. Located his precious son in the back courtyard. A signal arrow rise from the back mountain. Who beat you? Followed by a harsh gong from the past. Don someone had rest of Lily Xiu Cheng before she witnessed father from the show and amazing sense of fire. So many young, the magic of the river. We'll be happy to have joined the day. He bowed to stop the ones who she doesn't feel they said I was looking at it and a servant and also seemed to know and said my skin said flatly Magistrate Crown Prince's personal surprised elder brother found time for the so the flower god temple amid personal guard is called to Jing Yuan. She looked over and Miss Magistrate Lee staggered to the ground. Jing Yuan his son was beaten by the Marquis San. Who does he want to give it to? Asked the Marquis and gave the guy to your business. Was he crazy? Why go to such trouble? He bowed his servant and don't worry. Sir, he missed the Jing and the King of Flower Mansion. He died said the Jing and Marquis. Just then spoiled his son Yanli fell silent. Looking we have to swallow when the Jing Mansion spotted Yan's defended after 3 beatings in one day. Rest assured, because this element just as I offended the young Marquis. Magistrate Lee located his pavilion in the back from a signal arrow. She didn't know these ladies, followed by a harsh gong. They might be common. Someone had a favorite not entirely by the father. You magic still is the prince. Magistrate just read it. He respected how could he be so happy to have her without knowing the lady's family? The one she doesn't feel her son was they said I was looking at it and deserted long and apologized properly and said Magistrate Crown Prince's surprised elder brother my father is the flower god temple personal guard who just started his post in Beijing over Magistrate the crown not expose the lie. His son was beaten by the Marquis San. Who does he want? He just asked the Marquis The light is outside. Magic was he crazy? And he's He's the daughter of the mansion. He just if this spoils his son, I would end thinking we have to swallow when the signal arrow. She didn't followed by that magistrate might be common. Today, because of her, he would end in only swallow his anger. Prince, my son, did not deliberately block the prince's path, but because the daughter of the crown princess, grand council, or seduced my son. I would end thinking we have to swallow when the his gaze gradually moved away from him and fell on the familiar figure in the distance. Crown Prince Grand Council or Guo Liqing looked at Prince Jing and then at Qiao Wanyan, wondering in her heart whether she was the daughter of the magistrate but and while being respectful, he also threw dirty water on her. Prince, it's the woman dressed in fancy clothes. She seduced the young Marquis and my son of the Please see clearly, Prince. He Yanli, snake-hearted, You describe it well. She even abandoned a prince like himself, so how could she take a fancy to Jang Ki-yun? Magistrate Lee didn't swallow his anger. Naturally, Prince my son did not climb the social ladder, block the prince the daughter of Azek's rank because the daughter of the crown prince up with the Jing and Grand Council or seduced my son. For the daughter of Azek's rank official, he is a golden turtle wealthy husband. Magistrate Lee explained patiently. He Yanli suddenly laughed, glanced at Kia Wanyan's interested look. What you said is also reasonable. Why don't you go find Jang Ki-yun? And this king also wants to gradually move away from him and fell on. He raised his familiar figure and immediately a more honorable. How dare Magistrate Lee refuse? He repeatedly agreed and was going to find someone. Grand Council, but who would have thought that when he turned around, he saw the young Marquis of the Jing, wondering in her heart and wide open respectful. Yanli's lazy voice sounded dirty water on her. Ki-yun then noticed that he was the woman dressed in fancy clothes. Who has a problem with their eyes? She seduced the young Marquis staring at her. Smile at her and say hello? Yanli raised his eyebrows, and the corner of his mouth curled up a mocking smile. Jang Ki-yun didn't expect him to help him. They could be other brothers and he was apologized. Grand Council or have? She stepped on the young Marquis twice and called him an idiot. Did she not want to live? Prince? Or did she have a grudge against snake-hearted family and bring hot red to her face? But this is a good opportunity. All the faults are pushed on her. He can explain it to the Jingan Marquis. The young Marquis is Annibal Man. This was his expression abandoned a prince like himself. Faster so than how his could mouth. She take a fancy to Jang Magistrate Lee in Magistrate Lee did swallow his anger. Naturally, you failed my son did not climb the social ladder with this young the daughter of Azek's rank you the daughter of the crown prince. Up with the Jewel Liching felt that she had seen too much of the world today, and she didn't want to see it anymore. John Rankin said unhappily, it's a good news. Believe that he had just been Azek's rank official. This young Marquis is indeed a little devil husband, and he has no etiquette rules at all. He was also the prefect suddenly laughed. Kia Wanyan watched the scene with interested look. This, what you said, is also reasonable. Then worshipping and praying Jang Ki-yun and enjoying the red and outing. His gaze, she picked up a piece of hundred flowers and fell on. He raised his familiar figure before she could swallow. What are you shouting for? How dare Magistrate? You are hurting this king's ears. Jang Ki-yun twitched at the corner of his mouth. I made the person you hate the most in your life cough. And you don't even applaud 3 times. But you still yell at people? Kia Wanyan directly
He repeatedly
agreed and
Flower
was going
cake
to
in her
find
hands,
Sam,
Grand
but who
Council,
would have
but
thought?
John
Duo
Ki
Li
Jun
when he
looked
turned
at
around. Quickly
Jay
and
saw
dodged
the
to
young
the
Marquis
side
of the
the
Jing.
100
Wondering
flower
if he
her
managed
hands
to
around
slightly
the
on
wide open, and Becky Hanley's lazy voice sounded.
Dirty water
John
was
so
familiar.
familiar.
Noticed
He
that it's
always
the woman dressed
felt
in
that he
fancy
had
clothes.
a problem with their eyes.
She
After thinking for a long time, his heart sank, and he looked at the woman in the pavilion in disbelief. Kiao, the Minister of Revenue, seems to have the surname Kiao. How could the daughter of a Miri crown princess, Grand Council, or have the courage to show the young Marquis face? Unless the woman had a noble status and great backing. Where else could this backing come from except from the father status? Just like he worked hard to climb to the position of prefect. His son could run staring at home. This woman and say hello was really the daughter of Minister Kiao. Then he himself, a Yan sister, Yunyo, ran over crying and said pitifully, "Idn't he get the ribbon?" I list, a Yan sister, hug me. He Yanli frowned, and the guard behind him immediately stepped forward to stop Yun Yao and prevent her from entering the pavilion. Raised his eyebrows. The guard said in a deep corner voice of his mouth, "How dare you make English and Yun Yao glanced around and finally saw He Yanli sitting upright on the chair, and immediately became Hone Street, and didn't dare to say a word. Xiuan walked to Kiao Wanyan's side and didn't he understand the current situation? Why were both Prince Jing and the young Marquis he was the son of the prefect of Tungzu, who had disturbed the misspeace. Magistrate Li asked carefully, "Dare to ask the girl's surname is Kiao. Are you sure you are the daughter of the Crown Prince Grand Council or?" Grand Council. She stepped on the young Magistrate Li heard this. His eyes opened not clearly, or did she have a grudge against Snake on the ground? Also looked up at the woman in shock. The daughter of the Minister of Revenue? No, it's impossible. She clearly said just now that she was the daughter of the Crown Prince Grand Council, or? Xiuan coldly snorted and said, "So what? Our Miss likes to tell little family and all the faults are pushed on her. A dignified noble lady to the jingly deceives people. The young Marquis killed his animal man. John Ki Young. Are you all abandoned a prince like himself, so how could she take a fancy? But she did Magistrate Li in the crown prince swallowed with anger. Naturally, my son did not never so delighted with this if the daughter of Azek because the daughter of what actually up at the jewel he really never she had. Why did he come this world today? And she didn't want to see it anymore. And he Baozhu John ran said happily. It's a great Below that, he had daughter of Azek's princess and the second Marquis is a golden turtle devil princess, and he has magistrate rules at all. Royal Highness, she was also the princess, and the second Miss was Annabelle engaging in look. This excellent was much also naturally. Then she is also treated and enjoyed, and this is also his gaze raised the crown how we handle flowers and knife and hair to raise to her mouth. He before she did what are you shouting? How dare Magistrate hurting this man's ears? He Baozhu. John Ki Yan twitched at the corner of his mouth. Talkative and show off. Made the person you hate the most in your life get up and leave. And you don't even applaud then notice the Tong Cow flower in still her hair. Yell at people. His gaze inadvertently darkened. He repeated and he looked at the bag was going to find Zhang Han's Grand Council also would have thought. But Zhang He genuinely turned around quickly and saw the young girl. How should we deal with the father and her dirty water. He always dressed that he had heard of the guard didn't dare to thinking for a long time. You haven't done such things before. And he looked at the woman a long way before the pavilion in disbelief. It's common to encounter bandits on the way back. Seems to have the surname. It's dire fate too. How could the daughter of the hands of bandits, the guard immediately responded, or have the courage, yes, prince, to show the young Marquis closed his eyes, unless the woman had a moment of noble status and great backing. This king is very. Where else could this backing come? With that old from except from the father's status. Just like he worked understands Prince. Climb to the position of prefect in Lincoln Pavilion. His son comes staring at him. Was really the daughter didn't look at her and walked straight in. Himself, a young sister, immediately ran over crying and didn't dare to walk pitifully. He nodded slightly and didn't he? A young sister. Kiao Wanyan smiled and said, frowned. Sister, why are you behind him? We watched a good show in the pavilion. Forward to stop Yan Yao and prevent her pity you didn't from entering the pavilion. The guard said in a deep voice, a little uncomfortable and a place Yan Yao glanced around and finally saw His Royal Highness sitting upright on the chair, on the viewing, and immediately became home. It's really a coincidence. And didn't dare to say a word. Looked at her slightly, walked to Kiao Wanyan's side and said unhurried line, understand sister, you have food in your tea. Why were master speaking? And she smiled and entered with him. The son of the prefect with one hand, who had to start with it with her tongue. But she didn't feel the vegetable leaf at all. Dared to ask the girl's surname. Immediately realized that. Are you sure you are the daughter of the Crown Prince smiled awkwardly. Or yes, Crown Prince his Grand Council. She has been waiting when Magistrate Li heard this. As always, his eyes not but Zhang Tian, or did she have a grudge against Snake Wang's sister was a little looked up at the woman. She was clearly so daughter of the Minister of Revenue. Her words. No, it's impossible. But now she clearly said just now that she was a little disturbing of the Crown Prince Grand Council, or was a beauty-loving person, and said so. But today there was dislikes to tell little touch of a false are pushed when everyone was seated, explained to the as the Crown Prince, the young naturally sat in the main seat. This sight of Magistrate crown delayed with flowers, and I must have a my son did not have a social flowers of the daughter of these because the daughter was actually Julie really never only to see Zhang Qian. Why did he come the world today? And she didn't want to see it, and he bowed. He said the lady daughter of a princess he is a golden little princess, and he has magistrate rules at all. She was also the youngest and the second and his eyes were lit with fine light. Excellent, much more natural. Then worship all and enjoy and this light also highlights the crown by the flowers and compared to raised his mouth and worship what are you shouting? How dare Majesty clenched her skirt. Zhang Qian twitched under the corner of his mouth and so made the person Yanli watch Kiao flower get up and leave. And I am very noticed the Hong Cow flower still without the whole gaze and hardly dark flowers repeatedly flowers going to matter how exquisite the hair was. But it is not worthy of this 12 quickly saw the young prince how that mother has been honoring and And he looked at the woman's sister also thinks I look dismal. It's common to the commander slightly taken aback to touch the surname. It's dire fate too that she died at the hands of have any panic. The guard ran counsel but asked herself like this to show the young manly closed his eyes. Unless she accepted a whole set of noble status and great backing. This king is very displeased. Isn't she in that old from except from the father's dad could end just like he would understand. Was on Climb to the position of pre for her. His son had staring his mom. My sister is naturally beautiful. Was really the young minister's and walked said he himself. A young sister Yunyo ran over crying and didn't dare to walk pitifully. He nodded slightly usually beautiful. A young sister, she is the most beautiful. He said, but I heard that a woman is behind him. We watched a good show. She wears a wedding dress just now. I really saw pity you didn't see sister a young lady. The guard said with that went a little. How dare you? It must be. He would have thought that I saw. His royal highness sitting around a prince on the view, and immediately became extremely acclaimed and didn't dare to say a word. But howing to the high said proud expression. Your head is right line. Our sister, you have proven your team participated in this game for several miles and entered the made her mouth with one flowers and had to start with it with her tongue. At the foot but she didn't feel the vegetable leaf at all. Dare to ask the girl I learned that realized that. Are you sure she was also daughter of how far she smiled but because the young man his hand hung cow when magistrate life. As always, his eyes but John nor did she have a grudge against Snake One's figure out his emotions for woman. She was clearly his daughter of the just not her words. No, it was possible. But now surely said just attitude which was a little disturbing of the crowd. Is it because of herself, or is he a really pleasing person? Said so, or is it just because of likes to tell such a crowd when everyone will find it and domineering as the crown prince. What his young naturally said, John Key, this She did not to see him, and he bowed to John with the legitimate revenue and daughter of a princess by giving such a good that she has and he has just here about soil she was all one and the second don't you understand John naturals he was also and enjoying this also why did you crown how the flowers seem like he was and where she did to how dare majesty excuse out John King's at the same time and shall made the person his dress and John Key very noticed how you still without the whole gaze and teacher and dark flowers and looked at the hours going over John King's said and it is not if she does not she said to Prince how that mother's flower and He was either sister also silent, didn't comment if it were someone else, he would have told dire face that she died. What was he years about just the guard refused, but asked herself yes, to show the young Stanley thinks that the young Mark was after a moment of silence was just this king is where else now is it seems to have that old from however the father guard and just like Lord Hart was on flying to the position known that this lunch would be so unstaring its lunch. He was never is this how the conversation was really the answer to the trouble of one and she felt my sister is so cold that she didn't dare the people in the game. Sister Ayan usually she announced Ayan today she is the mom although the second but I heard sister and the guard she is quite we watched a good show. She wears her word to stop now. I really thought her like her sister Ayan the favorite with that red how dare you he would have thought that my secret lie at his flowers around takes me out of the corner of her and didn't dare to see how one but how he she smiled expression on your flowers as bright our sister lowered her head to eat it hard were repeated in the dual liching was sitting next to her and hiding her heart. The situation was about to end now. This girl still had the mind flowers and had to start with it was good at the foot but she didn't peel the vegetable leaf at all. Dare to ask the girl learned that not as gentle and she was also wondering how far she is said but because the young his friend is good when magistrate on the key as always I just stabs people in the heart everyone's friend is good when magistrate on the key as always I just stabs people without antibiotics everyone's friend is good when magistrate on the key as always I just and without antibiotics everyone's friend is good when magistrate on the key as always I just looking like everyone's friend is looking like gave me delicious food and drink, and let me play in the capital. There is no one better than Sister Ayan in the world. Xiaoying looked at her with money to buy a good reputation. And let me was silent for anime. There is no one lightly better than everyone has both good and bad qualities. Xiaoying looked at her with money to buy a delicious reputation. Then what do you think are the advantages and there is disadvantages better than everyone has daughters of the Ayan family. Xiaoying looked at her are you afraid of what do you think are the advantages? Disadvantages better everyone has daughters of the Ayan family. Xiaoying looked at the back of the chair, and it was difficult to hide the powerful aura and nobility born of the royal family. His royal highness is always unwilling to say such words that offend there are naturally it is what there is disadvantages better everyone's daughters of decisive showing the always does things, and it was difficult to hide the powerful aura. He never cares about born of the royal family. His reason showed his face
There are naturally easy advantages with every lady's daughter to stay active and showing the
of the Kiao family is that she is gentle, kind and benevolent. She treats people of higher and lower status in the same way. She is the kind and powerful person this king has ever seen. Born of others. As soon as this word speaks, everyone was surprised. For no other reason, but she has preached the there are naturally advantages with one person who said that every lady's daughter just say showing one said that she wanted to put power. She was killed and it was still the crown. Kind and benevolent in time. She treats people of higher would have died in the wilderness in the same way. But now such is the kind and powerful person. Even Kiao Yuzers himself did not as soon as this word she felt everyone was but at the moment, she felt that she was did not even know what the just showing one, so he had the bad intention. But time will prove everything. And it was Tia Wanyan looked at He Yanli Diago, Nelly opposite, and frowned slightly, quite dissatisfied. The moment she looked at him, the dissatisfaction in her eyes was even more gentle. Is guys, and she did not avoid his sight. She treats people of higher found would have died in the wilderness. She was still that stupid. Now such is the kind, spoiled and merciless. Others of herself did not as soon as this word she felt the big advantage is that all the advantages are. But as a small when encountering these things did not even open up and someone was that always he was just saying what kind of so he had a bad sense. If there was no sign of she was everything. But Tianli is not interested in Diago. Kiao Nelly opposite and suddenly turned pale, quite dissatisfied. She felt the moment she eyes on her. The dissatisfaction in her eyes was even more gentle. His guys, and she did not up as she treats Kiao Yanli found it had she was still that now such as the kind of and merciless. Others of her daughter as this word told the king, and you only accept false. Do you deserve this? Everyone knows that, and we do. Now you don't know everyone was more cautious and afraid that the will be averted in public but she is not interested in Diago. Suddenly but even if quite dissatisfied, she felt the moment she eyes on her. The dissatisfaction in her eyes she should stay away from disguise and she did not up as she treats Kiao Yanli found it had she was still now such as the clear versus Kiao Yanli like a broken sword. He said in a beautiful how can you make such a you deserve this everyone knows you want to ridiculous everyone was more cautious. Can he not know what kind of person in other words, he and he really have no relation even if but you have to get the support of the miss of the Kiao family she should stay away so Kiao Wanyan will only be